we're moving to the next question from the medium bucket. So we are given with a positive integers array, and this is a W of I, and this describes the weight of index I. So we have to write a function pick index, which randomly picks an index in the proportion to its weight. So the problem description is not that straightforward, but let me explain you with some example. Like we have 1, 3, 4, 6 as integer array, and the zero index has weight 1, and the first index has weight 3, and so on. So the pick index will uh, pick the indexes in proportion to its weight. So the 0th index will have probability of 7%. We just do 1 upon 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6, like all the summation of all the uh, elements in the array. And then again, the probability of picking the first index is 3 by 14. This is 21%. And similarly, we can get the probability of picking all the indexes by dividing it with the total sum. So I guess the question is pretty much clear.
Could you please explain it once again?
So basically, we have to write pick index function. And this function will return randomly an index, and that index which is returning is it should be proportional to the weight. So we have weight like 1, 3, 4, and 6, and the probability to pick index 0 will be 1 upon sum of all the elements, and the probability of picking 3 will be 3 upon 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6, similarly for 4 and similarly for 6. So if you see in this example 2, we have the W array, the weighted array as 1 comma 3, and we pass the argument pick index, pick index, pick index 5 times. So the first time it is returning 0, and the second time it is returning 1, and again 1 and 1. So as you can see, the weight 3 is much more than 1. So the most of the time it is returning 1, and it is returning 0 the lesser times. So you can see the probability of returning the index which is proportional to its weight. So if we have to write a pick index function in such a way that it returns an index with which is proportional to its weight.
Is the value of the element, is that like in order, or it can be random?
It can be random.
Oh, okay.
Ashish, can you explain the example again? I didn't understand the example. I understood the explanation that you gave for pick index, like with the array 1, 3, 4, 6, but I didn't understand the example.
Okay, so we given with the weighted array which has elements 1 and 3, right? So probability of picking 1 will be like 1 upon 4, and the probability of picking 3 will be 3 upon 4, right? So as you can see, the probability of getting this index is much more. So like suppose we have just 4 arguments of pick index. So in this 4 arguments, we are getting 0th index for one time, and we are getting 3 times the index 1. So you can see that the pick index is picking up on the ratio to the weight element, like what is the value of the weight element is.
Yeah, just for clarity, let me give a like non-technical example. Like,
Yeah.
and then maybe you will understand the problem well. That suppose there is one cat and there are 3 dogs. Now you are randomly giving a cookie to any one of them. So what is the probability that a dog will get a cookie? Is it 75%? Like, does that make sense without thinking too much?
Yes.
Exactly. So now these indices, like, so the first index, you can think it's cat, second index is dog, and so on. And that's what we want to, like, that's what Ashish is trying to explain, that how did we deduce 75%? That is 3 by 4. That's why he added 1 plus t in the example. And that's how we can deduce the logic actually.
Yeah, I got the 1 and 3 part. Like, what is the pick index and that solution, that array at the top?
Okay, let me explain it to you. It's one of the structure in which lead code usually passes a problem where they want to, execute something again and again. So if you see solution is nothing, it will internally instantiate the class, and pick index is nothing, but they will internally call this function again and again. So as it is a probability based question, they will have to calculate this multiple times and validate whether your solution is actually kind of giving that kind of weightage or not. So the first index solution means nothing, but it will be like a instantiation of class internally with the 1 and 3 as input. As Ashish mentioned, they are the weights of the different sections. And pick index is nothing but a call to pick index, which will create, try to find out what will be the index to be returned on that. So if you see on the right hand side, Ashish, could you just scroll up and down on the solution on the right hand side? Yeah, so if you see the first call, solution is nothing but a constructor call in C++, and pick index is nothing but the call of the function called pick index. You can relate it to that way.
Okay, that made sense now. I was a little confused over there. Thank you. Thank you for that
Yeah,
explanation.
this is welcome.
I know this this problem description is not that straightforward, but if you have any questions, please go ahead. Fine. So anyone who tried solving this question or has some approach?
Actually, I have this one not a problem, but a kind of thing which kind of helps me in the intuition for related to these kind of probability based questions is, let's assume that you have something which gives you a random number between 1 to 100. And if you have a probability or a percentage of times you want to have something calculated, like you want to have 30% of times a number, a number which is there 30% of times to be calculated. So within that 1 to 100 range, how would you compute something, which will give you output only 30% of times? Like, so let's say another thing, you have an entire range of 1 to 100, and you want some output, because every point in 1 to 100, let's assume, is having a probability of 1%, which is equal division, right? Now, for something to be given 30% probability, you'll need a slot in the line which is exactly 30 points apart, right? Or 30 different points on the line, so that you can get an output which is 30% of the total probability. Does it make sense? If I'm not clear, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So suppose this is the 100% area of something, and you have a dart with you. Okay. And what you want is someone who's using the dart, he should only win 30% of times. And he can send this dart, throw this dart anywhere on the screen. So for that, what you will need is just essentially, you just need to have 30% of the area on the dart. Okay, suppose this is 10% area, this is 10% area, this is 10% area. If he can throw this dart in only these areas, he will have a probability of winning 30% times, right? Because the rest of the 70% is a losing area. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of bring it down to a 2D level. Okay, suppose you have a number from 1 to 100, and a person who randomly chooses number from his mind, and you want him to win only 30% of times. So what you'll do, and every number in this has equal probability. So 2 has 1% probability, 3 has 1%. So every point is 1% probability. What you'll do is you'll choose 30 points on the line. right? And if he can guess any one of them, he is having a chance of winning 30%, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
Now, coming to the question that we have, what they are saying is, when you roll a die, or in this case, call a pick number, okay? So you need to find one of the indexes, right? Which is in the array. There cannot be a solution which is out of the array, right? That means your array in itself is your 0 to 100 space or 1 to 100 space, right? Now the challenge or the problem here is, how do you divide this entire sequence into slots based on their weights? In this question, if they are weights, we can consider it anything. Now let's suppose we have 3 elements here, 1, 2, and 3. Can you try to normalize this 1 to 100 into these brackets? Suppose this is taking up 1/3 or it's like total area is suppose 6. So this is taking about 3/6 area. This is 2/6, and this is 1/6. Can you map this range into a range of 0 to 100? If you can map this one into 0 to 100, you have solved your problem of selecting, the random number based on this. So what you have to do is find a random number between this, get a point, map it to this one, and whatever is the index here, that is your random pick, right? And for getting a random number from here, all the languages or programming languages, they do have a random function. You can ask them to get you the number between 1 to 100, and then you can have probably a mapping from 1 to 100 to whatever range you have.
So
From the
if the size is much more, then it will give us a TLE.
if the size is
Like we have something 10 to the power 6 or 7, and you are
10
plotting
to the
it.
power 6.
Yes,
10 to the 6 elements, right? So this was just the main crux of the problem. If we are clear till now, we can see into the optimizations.
Okay.
If this is clear till now, that how kind of mapping this single line of 1 to 100 into our input array. If not, then probably I can go ahead and play it, explain it again.
I think it's pretty clear. People for whom it is not clear and they ask specific questions.
Sorry, your voice is.
He's saying it's clear. Like if someone has some
Okay.
question, then they can come up and ask.
Yeah. Any questions from anyone?
Can you please explain one more time?
Sure, no problem. So let's have the input arrays 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So assume this is the area that they are taking up, and let's try to relate it to a real world thing. It's an area. This one is taking 4 parts of the area. This one is taking 3 parts. This one is taking 2 parts, and this one is taking 1 part, right? Now, if you see the total area, whatever is the total area, it's calculating. It's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, right? Which is essentially 10. Now, I have this range from 1 to 4, right? And I know I have a way to calculate 1 to 100 randomly. Okay. For simplicity, I'm calculating 1 to 100. This is essentially but random function in your language, right? Now, there's a 1/10 area, 1/10, which is corresponding to this section, right? Now I can take 10 sections of this 100 line. Suppose this is first 10, then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, right? So I can assume this part of the thing is mapped to this one. I know next is 2, so I'll have to take these 2 parts mapped to 2. Next is 3, I'll have these 3 parts mapped to 3, and similarly 4 parts mapped to 4.
Mm-hmm.
right? Now I call this random function, it gives me suppose 78, right? Now 78 lies somewhere over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this section is mapped to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So your result for 78 will be 4,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this 0 or rather 1 to 100 number has equal probability for every number.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 to 100, it has equal probability. Now, what is the probability you will get is this range is 40 by 100, which is essentially same as its weight. What we are calculating, 0.4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now what you're essentially doing is you have a way to calculate random number equally in some range and you're mapping it to this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole crux of having a problem or
Okay.
having this problem in this map way.
Okay.
Okay. Is that clear right now?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. If this is clear, then we can go to the optimization part. Like Ashish said, if you have 10 list for 5 elements and everything. Okay. I'll assume maybe it's clear. Let me just clear out some. So now what we are doing was mapping everything from 1 to 100. Okay. And in all the languages, if we see, if we can calculate from 1 to 100, we have options to calculate from any X range to Y range. All the languages have support of creating random integer from X and Y. At least Java, I know, is having. Java and C# they do both have, right?
Yeah, C++ also have.
I'm not very much familiar with that, so that's fine. So now, instead of using this 1 to 100 to calculate and get mapping, because that will require some additional data structure to map it out, what we can do is map everything on the scale that we have, like 0 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? Now a random function will be simple random from 1 to 10. Right? And then we can just have this range. Like in this first case, we have 1 for map to 1, then 2 map to, there are 2 sections for 2, 3 sections for 3, and then 4 sections for 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you see, this relation is somewhat related to cumulative sum.
Exactly.
You have 1 here. Okay. How many from, till what element will the 2 and 2 will give, it will cover up the 2. So essentially 2 plus 1, 3. So from 0 to first box, it will cover this one. From first to third box, which is the 2 elements, will cover, with 3. And then it will go to 6. They'll go to 10. Is this clear right now from here?
Yeah.
So essentially what I'm trying to do is I don't want to keep any extra mapping. So if it's 3 here, I'll still have to keep some sort of mapping to take it from here to here. What I did from 100 or 1 to 100, I did it here, right? I mapped some range into this single one. What I want is 1-to-1 mapping. So that I can just, once I get an answer, I can just look it up and get the answer. Otherwise, for this range, if I suppose this is the range and I get 3 here, I'll still need to maintain intermediate mapping, which will tell me all 2, 3, and 4 are mapped to this element. Right? Instead of that, what I did was I took this range, number of elements, and created cumulative sum. Now, if you see, every element here in itself identifies, okay, anything till 3, starting from the last element, belongs to this one. Anything which is here belongs to this one. Anything which is in this range belongs to this one. Anything which is in this range belongs to this one. Is this okay till now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the problem will simply remain to find a random number between 1 to 10. Suppose you get 7. Now, how do you find 7 is mapped to which of these elements? You'll take this array, do a binary search. Cumulative sum is always, increasing order unless until you have negative elements. In this will not have negative elements. So it's a increasing array. You can do a binary search. You'll find where it is lying and the element next to that is the answer for that one. So
Yeah, I
essentially what
did
you're doing
somewhat
is
like this one. This one.
you're trying to find a seed of a number. Is it understood or not?
Anyone have any questions?
If it's not clear, probably I can go ahead and explain it again. Okay, I'll assume there are no questions. Ashish, you can go ahead and share again.
Okay. So thanks, Puneet. And I did somewhat like this only. I created a global array and then I made a cumulative sum of all those, and then I just did a binary search on this and I picked up a random element when I did a binary search, simply what you said. So
Right. Exactly, this is what we needed. So like you did random into total, I think Java has a direct function of creating a random number
okay, so
between those two integers. I think the random in C++ gives values between 0 to 1, right?
no, it gives like it. I don't have much knowledge about rand function, but there are two types of function: simply a rand function, and one is srand. So in srand, their order is not preserved, and in the rand, the order is preserved. So this much information I know, and then I'm just doing a mod such that like I'm getting the range between 1 and total only.
Okay, I'm myself not very aware of C++.
Yeah. So any questions or any doubts that anyone have? So, or shall we move forward to the next question?